Howdy! Thanks for tuning in to Dakota Cowboy, presented to you each week by our friends at Dakota Community Bank and Trust. I'm Wild Bill, the media director, right here at the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame in historic Medora. We are now open 7 days a week from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. And be sure to stop by, and remember that on Wednesdays and Sundays, kids receive free admission courtesy of our friends at American Foundation for Wildlife, as well as the Landing in Minot. We sure hope you're enjoying all the rodeo action you've been seeing here on Beck TV. We were just in Bowman recently, and our next broadcast is coming up on the 17th of June from Watford City. We have exciting NDRA rodeo action all summer long here on Beck TV, including later this summer from right here in Medora. Coming up on the program today, my co-host and I, Tisa Peak, spent some time at home on the range near Sentinel Butte, and were our eyes ever opened. You will be amazed at the things that you're about to discover about this wonderful facility we all come to love as Home on the Range. We visit with the executive director, Laura Feldman, who tells us some pretty amazing things that are transpiring at the Home on the Range facility, as well as some things that are going to really shock you. Tisa visits with the equine therapist, Les Barnhart, and again, some amazing things were discovered. It was fun to watch Tisa's energy level increase and her blood pressure just get so excited as she learned about the equestrian therapy program they have at Home on the Range. And we have a special message to Tisa's family as she lost her brother about a week ago. We also have the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame Hall of Honorees Inductee of the Week and the Student Rodeo Athlete of the Week. That'll be coming up on the program today. So call up the neighbors and tell them to tune in to Beck TV, because Dakota Cowboy starts now. Presented by Dakota Community Bank and Trust.
Man has worked in sync with Mother Nature since the beginning of time. Relying on her to provide sufficient moisture every growing season is a roll of the dice. You can now insure your pastures and rangelands with Rainfall Index policy available from Chamely Financial. This will give you the peace of mind by knowing you will be protected from the adverse effects of Mother Nature. Contact Chamely Financial today, 719-338-3428, or go to chamelyfinancial.com.
Stop out to our facility, Highway 22 South. Let us build a truck for you.
Beck News is your leader in local. Beck specials and live information for you. Original programming. Exclusive local sports. Beck is local for you. Uncensored topics and uncensored opinions. Unapologetic politics, where all sides are represented. Full episodes online anytime at beck.news. All in one network. Your leader in local, Beck News.
Whether you have guns, ammo, vehicles, toys, or collectibles, consign with Last Chance Auction and we can help put money in your pocket. Give us a call at 334-SOLD or visit lastchancesd.com for upcoming auctions.
Hi, Rich from Law Motors. 45 years ago, Dad started selling cars. 35 years ago, I started selling cars. And 15 years ago, Tyler started selling cars.
And I'm Mom, and I told all of them, just be nice.
JR's Auto Body and Truck Collision has built a reputation as one of the most reputable and reliable body shops in this region. With nearly 30 years in business, customers count on JR's to get it done right the first time. They'll work with your insurance company to smoothen the process. From their 40-foot frame straightening machine, Sickens paint, and the latest technology in the repair industry, they're the only name you need to know. For auto, semi, RV, and trailer repair, it's JR's Auto Body and Truck Collision. North Dickinson, call 701-483-6778. JR's Auto Body and Truck Collision. Welcome back to Dakota Cowboy here on Beck TV, presented to you each week by our friends at Dakota Community Bank and Trust. We appreciate you spending part of your Sunday with us here on the program. Through the whir of lawnmowers, we are at Home on the Range in Sentinel Butte, just west of Beach, North Dakota. You might know of Home on the Range, home for Champions Ride every first Saturday in August, and we're visiting with the executive director, Laura Feldman. Thanks for offering your time today. I know you're busy.
My pleasure. I'm glad you guys came out and on a nice day.
Oh, not bad, not bad. Could use a little more sunshine, but these clouds, the rain wouldn't be bad either, you know. And it's kind of ironic. On last week's program, we were visiting with a gentleman, Benny Paulson, and talking about him mowing grass, and that's what it does in North Dakota. It rains, we get a little sunshine, and we mow grass about every week, and so that's what you got your crew doing today. So,
yes.
Anyway, originally, are you from Beach, North Dakota?
I am. Grew up in Beach all my life.
Okay, and what were the steps that you took that led you to the office of executive director here at Home on the Range?
You know, I graduated high school and thought, oh, so glad to be done with Beach. And I went to college, graduated with a social work degree from Moorhead State University. And then...
So you thumbed your nose at all the Bison fans, didn't you?
I did.
Okay, we won't go there.
I don't anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we moved down to Colorado Springs. I had family down there and always thought it was beautiful. So lived down there and kind of accidentally got into grad school at University of Denver. Graduated there and lived in Bismarck for a while, working at Division of Juvenile Services. And I got a call from the then executive, Pat Peterman here, kind of inviting me out. So that's how that happened.
Did you start right at the top at executive director? Or did
oh,
you?
No.
Yeah,
no, I came on.
Build your way up.
Yep, came on as a therapist, case manager, and spent, 14 years probably doing that, really focused on animal-assisted therapy. So I always said it was the best job ever. Got to work with kids and dogs and kids and horses. Didn't think there'd be anything better than that. And then I moved into administration and was the clinical director for 4 years or so, and now executive director about the last 2.
Wow, good for you. That's quite a journey.
Yeah.
Now
learned a lot.
You mentioned that you started out as a therapist and caseworker. Was your college education or other training, did that prepare you for that position?
Yeah, I graduated University of Denver with my master's in social work.
I see, okay.
So, and always knew I wanted to work with kids, and actually in grad school, I remember the first time I ever was introduced to any kind of equine therapy was in a class, and they were talking about working with humans and horses and how therapeutic that can be, and I thought, oh my God, that's the coolest thing I ever heard of, and just thought, oh, I wish I could do that someday, and here I am.
Coming up on Dakota Cowboy, Tisa's gonna show us some demonstrations of the coolest thing you've ever, the equine therapy. That'll be coming up on the program. But let's talk about the kids that are here at Home on the Range. I'm sure you've heard some of the most chilling stories, if you will, of the lives and the paths that led them to Home on the Range. And boy, to, you know, do what you do and have empathy for these kids and still under the guidelines that are set forth for the criteria for that position, gosh, it's got to be quite the balance, because I'm sure you've heard some terrible stories. Can you give us a little snapshot of some of them?
Sure, yeah. You know, been doing this work a long time, and in the last few years really have heard some of the worst stories, the most horrific abuse and neglect, and so much sex trafficking that's happening in North Dakota.
Would we be surprised if we knew those numbers, what they were? Is the media doing a good job of, you know, telling the public what trafficking is like in North Dakota, or what do we need to do there?
No, I don't think they really understand what we're seeing.
I'm kind of surprised.
So let me tell you, in our girls' dorm, since 2019, 79% of our girls have been trafficked or exploited.
My gosh.
So that's 116 kids that have come through.
They're dropped off at home on the range. I'm sure they're traumatized. I'm sure there's decompressing, if you will, that goes on and things. And what's that process like? Is it, I'm sure that, you know, you have trained personnel that know exactly what to do and when to do it.
Yeah, you know, our staff is incredible.
Yeah.
We sink a lot of time and effort into training, but no amount of training will ever get you ready for the first time that you watch a kid just have a complete come apart in front of your eyes, because it's not like your own kids having temper tantrums. This is like where kids dissociate and they really have no idea what's happening, because in their mind their life is in danger, right? Because they come with that history and that complex trauma. So, you know, you might say, oh, all this over a bag of chips. It's really not over the bag of chips, right? It's over being triggered into feeling like you either have to fight, you have to flee, you have to freeze. You know, we've had kids who get triggered and just shrink into themselves and they're just kind of blank, right? And we've had kids who get triggered and they're explosive and they're striking out at you. We've had kids that get triggered and just skinny out the dorm.
Wow.
And it's not like your biological kids or the kids that you know from your own family. These are different.
You're not my mom, you're not my dad, I don't have to listen to you. Yeah.
Right.
So, okay, let's shift gears. What about the good stories? What about the success stories that you've had here? The children that come, and they come like you said, and they improve and they just embrace life. What about those stories?
Those are my favorites. Those are my favorites. You know, for example, we had a gal who spent time here and now has graduated and has a great scholarship going to college. And I couldn't be more proud of her. And she maintains contact and just kind of lets us know how she's doing. And
wonderful.
You know, that's the why. That's what keeps you coming back.
Yeah.
You know, I had a gal who I worked with in the equine therapy stuff, and she left, and she had some struggles, but she called me one day, and she said, "Laura, I'm so mad at my dog," because she got a puppy and she was so excited. But now this day she was mad, and I'm like, "Well, what's going on?" He ate all of my pictures from the equine program, and I don't have any pictures of me and Spook. And I'm like, oh no. So I was able to go through the album and find her some pictures and get those sent to her.
Oh, wow.
But she talked about she was working as a CNA and was really, really proud and excited because she was now working a shift and she had, you know, all these responsibilities and she was able to do it. Had another kid I worked with that left and went to college at UND and was majoring in social work, and she called me and said, "Can I use you as a job reference?" And I said, "Well, sure, but I mean, you know." And she said, "No, she knows I was there and she knows I was in therapy. It's fine." I said, "Okay." So the gal called me. It was a developmental disabled group home, and the boss called and she said, "Well, what can you tell me about this young lady?" I said, I can't tell you anything. But I will tell you, if you're looking for a kid with all heart, that's her."
Wow. You know,
so she got the job and was a supervisor.
Laura, it takes a special person to do what you do. I mean, this isn't a job for anybody, and I'm getting the picture here. You're doing it very, very well. Congratulations. It's got to be fulfilling. Are you provided all the tools that you need? Are you always assessing your needs and looking at how we can do things better? I'm sure that that's part of your position as well.
Always. And the reason we're successful is the staff that we got on hand. I mean, best line staff, West clinical staff. But you know, we're a nonprofit, so you know, we rely on donations and fundraisers and all those kinds of things. So the Champion Ride coming up, hope to see a big crowd there. We've got a golf tournament coming up, so all kinds of fundraisers.
That's tomorrow, isn't it?
It's Sunday.
Sunday,
yeah.
Sunday, Memorial Day Sunday, the golf tournament. Yeah.
Yep.
I know our executive director, Rick Thompson, has got his golf clubs in the back seat. He's going to be competing in that. So yeah, and Champions Ride this year, like you said that's one of your fundraisers, but that's got to be like your biggest fundraiser of the year?
That's the biggest one of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this year, in case you haven't heard, you're hearing it right now on Dakota Cowboy, $40,000 in added money. Oh my goodness.
Isn't that
I know
something?
these things because I'm on that committee, so that's exciting.
That is great.
And that's why we've got lawns being mowed here today, and everything's getting groomed for Champions Ride, the first Saturday in August. I believe that's the 6th this year. And you looking forward to that? I'm sure you are. You must have been coming here since you were a youngster.
Oh, I remember coming when I was a kid all the time. It was my favorite because I loved animals and I got to see them all the time out here. So
You're probably not old enough to remember Father Fawnlander, though, are you?
do you know what? Father Fawnlander did all of my sacraments.
Did he really?
Yep, he co-facilitated my wedding even.
Father Fawnlander is an amazing man. He and the Teschers instrumental on the arena down here in establishing Champions Ride. And I'll tell you a little story. When Champions Ride was inducted into the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame, Jim Tescher was so compelled to thank about every bucking horse that ever bucked in this arena. And he went on, his acceptance speech for Home on the Range was, oh gosh, I think it was like 15 or 17 or 20 minutes long. And Father Fawnlander steps up, and the first thing he said was, I don't want anybody to ever complain how long my sermons are ever again. Love Father Fawnlander. He drove Jim and Tom Tescher to rodeos while they slept in the back seat.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so wonderful.
guy.
And then, of course, Father Cassidy, we cannot forget about him. It's been there's some history here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, founded in 1950 by Father Cassidy. So we've
Awesome.
been around a while.
Wonderful. This is a great place. It's a beautiful day. You got, how many kids are here right now?
Right now we've got 30.
30?
Yeah.
What's the most and what's the least it's been?
You know, most of the year we were having about 20. So we're high right now for us in the last couple years, and that's okay.
What is your capacity?
36.
36. So you've reached that number, I'm assuming.
It's been a while. It's been a few
Yes.
years since we were up that high.
Do your kids that come here to Home on the Range, do they come from all parts of the United States or just North Dakota?
You know, primarily North Dakota, but we now have kids that have come from Wisconsin. We've had South Dakota referral, Montana referral. So it's just a matter of getting contracts figured out, but we can definitely take out-of-state kids.
Okay.
Yep.
Laura, I think this has turned into probably the most important interview I've ever done, and I think it went well. And having said that, is there any question that I didn't ask that would you would share information with our viewers that perhaps we didn't get on in the last 10 minutes?
You know, I really appreciate you asking about the trafficking. I think that's an area North Dakota is somewhat unaware of, and the degree at which we're seeing it out here is heartbreaking. Kids being sold for propane to heat the house.
Wow.
Parents injecting their kids for drug money for their drug dealer to have sex with, and just all kinds of things that are horrific. And so shining a light on that is something I really appreciate. And I also want folks to know that the kids that we have out here are special. They're great kids.
Every single one of them. Yep.
They are great kids. They just haven't been given a fair shot.
Yeah.
They have a tough start, but we can help, and fundraising and help from donors is part of that.
Well, you know, we're not a news program, you know, we're Dakota Cowboy under the umbrella of the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame, and if you're a member of the media, she is such a great interview. Come and talk to this lady right here. She would love to tell the story to more and more people, and gosh, I think this is one of the best interviews that I can remember doing in a long time. Bless your heart for what you do.
Well, thanks, Bill. It was my pleasure.
You bet. Laura Feldman, the executive director here at Home on the Range. Don't forget, mark August 6th on your calendar for Champions Ride 2023. Everybody who's anybody in the world of saddle bronc riding will be here. It's a PRCA sanctioned event. So again, thank you, and thank you to everybody at Home on the Range. Coming up, Tisa Peak is going to have some insight on equine therapy here at Home on the Range on Dakota Cowboy, presented by Dakota Community Bank and Trust.
Improve your home or business with services from Zaka Remodeling and Construction. Whether you need windows or doors repaired, replaced, or installed for your residential or commercial property, Zaka Remodeling and Construction can help. Our local and family-owned business offers flexible hours and over 10 years of experience in the industry. We are your local Pella expert. Pella is rated #1 in highest quality and innovation by homeowners across the country. Feel confident when you choose Pella and Zaka Remodeling. Contact us today for a free estimate. Zaka Remodeling and Construction.
It's every American's right to bear arms. At Mandan Sporting Goods, we're here to help you support your Second Amendment rights, which reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Whether you're looking for a pistol for personal defense or collector gun, we have the staff to help you. We also have the area's largest inventory of ammo and reloading supplies.
Mandan Sporting Goods, the area's local gun and ammo specialists.
The dictionary defines community as a group of people living in the same place or sharing common goals. Community is the largest part of our name, and we make it the largest part of our business. We support our local schools, organizations, youth programs, and local events from Bowman to Bismarck, because we all share a common goal to better the quality of life in our communities. Come bank with us at Dakota Community Bank and Trust, your real community bank.
Medora Butte and Western Wear open year-round in historic Medora. You'll find quality items for cowboys and cowgirls of all ages. Medora Butte and Western Wear has over 1,500 pair of boots on hand at all times. New this year, the R. Watson brand of boot, featuring an all-leather heel, riveted shank, and a 10-iron leather sole. Jeans, shirts, hats, caps, and more, and customer service is #1. Medora Butte and Western Wear in historic Medora.
Medora Butte and Western Wear.
We are rewriting Hollywood's script for our kids. I'm pop culture expert Tina Griffin, and as a former Hollywood actress, I'm giving you a behind-the-scenes look at how today's entertainment is eroding the foundational development of America's youth and how to safely navigate this pop culture chaos. Knowledge is power. Parents want solutions. It's time to get the power back in your hands and reclaim the right to decide who and what should influence your kids.
Weekdays at 2 p.m. Central Time on Beck TV.
Welcome back to Dakota Cowboy here on Beck TV. We're brought to you by Dakota Community Bank and Trust. And like Bill just said, we are here at the beautiful Home on the Range at Sentinel Butte, and I am joined with Les Barnhart, and he is the equine assisted barn manager here at HOTR. Sure. Anyway, Les is going to tell us a little bit about the driving team that you work with the students here and life on the ranch and what it's done for you. So let's get started. What are these two guys' names?
This is Dan and that's Jim. We use them as a therapy horse also. We have a group, we call it MAC, stands for Making a Connection, where the kids learn, you know, how to be assertive without being angry or mean.
And you do that behind them, driving them?
Yes.
So they literally have some touch and control of emotion through their fingertips.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about what we talked about before, that story of that little girl that was having a bad day and how this helped her.
Yeah, we were on the wagon and these two were hooked up. She got up there, she'd been having kind of a rough day, and she got a hold of the lines and their heads came up just a little bit and they both turned their heads inward and looked at me. And so I reached over and grabbed the lines and explained to her that, you know, we'll calm down a bit and then go ahead and try.
So these horses take in as much feeling as the rider or the children or the person handling them that do.
Absolutely.
And we touched on that a little. Tell me about how emotionally involved each horse on this place gets with students, to the point of how many times they could be ridden a week.
Yeah, they put up with, you know, a lot of emotions. Sometimes they get used 3 or 4 times a week. I kind of gauge whether they've had enough for that week or not. You know, some horses they could go every day, all day. Some horses, you know, once a week maybe.
And how long, you had talked a little bit about their story, it took you about 2 years for a student to be even around these 2 horses.
To be safely around them, yeah. I feel that they came from some abuse themselves, so they do kind of have a connection with some of our kids.
A huge connection,
yeah.
You said.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're dealing with a lot of the personalities that you deal with, do you match them with specific horses, or does it just happen?
Sometimes it just happens. We'll go out in the pasture and let the kids come out, and a lot of times the horses will pick the kid.
They will.
So, yeah.
You know, you said something that almost teared me up earlier too. And I could tell you were at the right place where God and maybe even intended you to be, but you said you don't even have to talk when you do your job. These horses kind of do the talking for you.
Yeah.
Touch a little on that.
When we do like an individual session in the barn, we set up an activity or something, and we kind of just stand back and let it happen. We try to stay out of their story, and we let the client build their own story with the horses. So yeah, we don't really have to talk much. It all just happens. So.
And the relationship they're building's non-human. It goes here, and then they can build that, and then it's transferred over to human relationships.
It can be, yep.
It can be.
The horse brain is built a lot like the trauma brain of our kids.
How so?
So I don't know. That's science.
That's science. Well, I'll tell you what. You also talked about, you know, it takes. What people don't realize, maybe the general public, caring for these animals as much as humans. I mean, they're on a regular veterinarian schedule, shoeing schedule, the haying. The resources it takes to keep something like this available for the students. What can you tell the, you know, people about that you guys are in need of?
Yeah, we worm regular, we trim feet. We don't shoe anything, but every 8 weeks we trim feet. They have to be healthy in order to do their job. Most of our horses are elderly, within, you know, late teens to early 20s.
And that's by design.
Yep.
An older horse knows the ropes.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Nowadays people don't ride horses like they used to, so they're, you know, not as probably gentle or fit for us when they're younger.
They're not spending the time, as much time. Yeah. But that's your job, 7 days a week. This just consumes you, and you love every minute. I feel that. So what could you, when you're talking about the elderly horses and caring for them, you also mentioned, you know, the price of horses we all know has gone up.
Yeah.
You've incorporated some mares on the place, and the youth actually help with raising the horses. I know somebody talked about they see the insemination process and all that. What goes into raising horses here for the ranch?
We buy all the horses.
You buy all of them?
The insemination is a cow deal. So.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry about that.
That's
but
okay.
Speaking of buying from, you did get one from New York.
We did.
Tell me about that hunter jumper. There's a big black horse here that is just gorgeous. I wanted to call him Mr. New York.
Yeah, he come from New York. He was donated to us. I actually had to go to South Dakota to get him. They hauled him that far. And I don't know much about jumping or any of that stuff, but they got rid of him because he would weave just before he made the jump. I don't know, but
we kind of figured maybe that's DACA points or somebody fell off.
I don't know, maybe. And but he's a cribber, and which is an addiction for horses, and he tends to kind of navigate to our addicted children, and I don't know why. But
you don't know why. If that doesn't say that these horses don't have a connection with a human, I don't know what does.
Yeah.
That line there is incredible.
But it happens a lot with him. So.
Incredible. Well, is there anything else you'd rather be doing in life, or do you feel like helping these kids that need your help and these horses every day?
I think right now I'm where I need to be.
Wonderful.
So, I don't know, 10 years down the road, maybe not.
Well, we thank you so much for all you do. And I thank you for joining me today and having this time with you. I've learned so much. I can't wait to come back.
Okay, but wait, there's more. It's about 12 hours after we left home on the range yesterday, and the conversation you and I had from home on the range to my office, I mean, we were just on such a high after that, and we realized that there is so much more to this story. And the chain of emails last night between you and I and Laura Feldman, and it was just an amazing thing. And one of the things that you discovered, Tisa, was the how they use music to do their equine therapy. What was your takeaway from that?
Well, yeah, that's something we learned so much after and even before the interviews that were on camera, but we touched on the rhythmic riding, and it seemed like they used that almost every single day.
Mm-hmm.
And just growing up with horses and stuff, you know, you think you kind of know stuff, and then you go somewhere and they're doing all kinds of, I would almost say, life-saving things, life-changing things. So, you know, each rider is able to pick their own song or music, and it can be fast-paced, low-paced, whatever. And then they're taught to ride a horse bareback and match the rhythm of the song. And somehow it gets these youth in a different frame of mind, and it gets them, you know, more comfortable on the horse. They're using parts of their body that aren't functioning. I mean, it blew me away on the different things they were doing.
It
And then
affected
some.
you. It affected you. I could tell you were just amazed for one thing and surprised, but got a little emotional. I mean, that's really a therapy that you, as a person that talks about the horse world, and you have your magazine, Dakota Horse Magazine, to catch you off guard like that was fun to watch. That really was. And I mean all of this in a good way, Tisa. It was cool.
Well, it was something I've thought about my whole life, and I always see kids with horses and I see the magic that happens and all that. But then that there's a place in Western North Dakota that is actually taking these people in every single day just inspired me, amazed me. And something else I need to touch on, you know, when I was talking to Les, you know, we see the match bronc riding and we see those amazing athletes in the rodeo arena, and we love them. All of us love them just the same. But something that these horses are doing at places like HOTR, these therapy horses are gold buckle horses themselves. Day in, day out, they deserve an award because they take on the emotions of the rider. They might be abused horses themselves, and they've taken years to recover, and they end up being the best friend to these youth.
You know,
so I just wanted to say that these horses are champions.
Yeah, they really are. That black horse is amazing. What a good-looking boy he is. And gosh, that was fun. You know, we want to show, you know, the music therapy. There are copyright issues we have with playing music on our show, so we're going to have to do some homework first. But we hope to put on a display of how that music and the horses, and I hope we can pull that off, and we're going to work on that for sure. Another thing that I'm taking away from that was the demeanor of Les Barnhart, quiet, calm, reserved. The audio and his interview that we just saw was amazing because it brought out his calm demeanor and how you can just tell that he is doing the job that he is supposed to do. It was so much fun. And
he really sets the tone, and especially with the horses that he's working with.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're dealing with any child or novice person around a horse, you have to have it. That tone is safe.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, you know, he knows what he's doing around these horses. It
really
is evident.
Yeah, Laura definitely doing the job that she is supposed to do. And personally, you know, you always critique yourself, and you're your biggest critic, you know. But I watched the interview a couple of times yesterday after we got back to the office, And I'm glad that we brought out the points that we did. And you brought out what you brought out in Les. This is a good one. This is a great one, and we hope to follow up on this. I know we're still buzzing from this. You know, what a great feeling. What a great way to go into the weekend. So anyway, Tisa, great job. And it was fun to watch you get seeing what you saw and reacting the way that you did, and knowing that, you know, Laura said anything we want to do, any projects we want to do with her and Home on the Range, we've got a green light on that. So good job. Good job.
Well, no, thanks, Bill, for having me.
Gosh, you know, and you and I both discussed that, you know, you and I working together at least once a month is probably the way to do this from now on. So we thank the viewers for their patience as we build Dakota Cowboy into what it's becoming. And I think the best is yet to come. And I think this segment right here just proved that we've got legs underneath us, and we've learned to walk together, and now it's time to run.
Tisa and my visit at Home on the Range was on a Thursday. Our Zoom get-together occurred on Friday. The following Saturday, May 27th, Tisa lost her younger brother, TJ Kraft. He was in the prime of his life and only 39 years old, and I empathize with my partner as I know firsthand the pain of losing a close sibling. It's as if you're running in a race and you fall off your horse and wonder, why are all the other horses continuing to run? You pick yourself up and you slowly walk again as you grieve. You lean on those closest to you as you pick up the pace at your own pace. The family of TJ Kraft has asked that in lieu of cards and flowers, that donations be made in TJ's name to Home on the Range. All of us at the Beck News family and the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame extend our deepest and most sincerest sympathy to the family of TJ Kraft. Rest easy, Cowboy, where the grass is lush, green, and stirrup high, and the water runs cool, clear, and deep. TJ, your entry fees are paid. And your sister asks that we relay a special message about you on today's Dakota Cowboy. Your unending passion and love for horses will be forever remembered by your sister. You covered many, many miles across the country with the mares you trained and their colts, leaving a lasting good print. TJ Kraft will be missed by many, including all of us at Beck News and the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame. This is Dakota Cowboy.
It's time to get educated, people.
And that's just what we're doing on our new show, Educated. Every day we bring you the stories from inside the classroom that mainstream media won't cover.
So stay educated with us, weekdays at 2:30 p.m. Central Time on Beck News or anytime online at beck.news.
Welcome to the start of Main Street, the main medical building located at 315 Main, downtown Minot. The unique shops inside offer body and mind healing, a safe haven for mothers-to-be, mixed martial arts, hair salons, massages, counseling services, and much more. Also keep a special lookout for a brand new Jamaican-inspired restaurant opening this fall. Take a stroll inside the main medical building and uncover the unique shops and experiences that lay within. Discover the start of Main Street at the main medical building today.
Hi, Rich from Law Motors. 45 years ago, Dad started selling cars. 35 years ago, I started selling cars. And 15 years ago, Tyler started selling cars.
And I'm Mom, and I told all of them, just be nice.
Whether you have guns, ammo, vehicles, toys, or collectibles, consign with Last Chance Auction and we can help put money in your pocket. Give us a call at 334-SOLD or visit lastchancesd.com for upcoming auctions.
Man has worked in sync with Mother Nature since the beginning of time. Relying on her to provide sufficient moisture every growing season is a roll of the dice. You can now insure your pastures and rangelands with Rainfall Index policy available from Chamley Financial. This will give you the peace of mind by knowing you will be protected from the adverse effects of Mother Nature. Contact Chamley Financial today, 719-338-3428, or go to chamleyfinancial.com.
JR's Auto Body and Truck Collision has built a reputation as one of the most reputable and reliable body shops in this region. With nearly 30 years in business, customers count on JR's to get it done right the first time. They'll work with your insurance company to smoothen the process. From their 40-foot frame straightening machine, Sickens paint, and the latest technology in the repair industry, they're the only name you need to know. For auto, semi, RV, and trailer repair, it's JR's Auto Body and Truck Collision. North Dickinson, call 701-483-6778. JR's Auto Body and Truck Collision. For more than 70 years, farmers and ranchers have relied on Dickinson Ready Mix for all their concrete needs. Whether it's a shop building for machinery storage or paved feedlots for your livestock, grain bins for on-site grain storage, or precast pads for automatic cattle waterers, Dickinson Ready Mix has been there to provide quality concrete for all your agricultural structures and infrastructure. For your next project, call Dickinson Ready Mix to discuss the benefits that concrete can add to your operation.
Hey, we're looking for ideas for our next commercial. Thoughts?
We have a fully stocked lot. Cars, trucks, SUVs.
Clearly.
We strive for honesty, transparency, and a better buying experience.
Of course we do. Guys, think everybody's busy. Nobody has time to spend hours shopping for a car. Has to be simple, easy.
Sales, service, simplified.
Perfect. Torgerson Auto Center, East Bismarck Expressway. Sales, service, simplified.
And welcome back to Dakota Cowboy here on Beck TV, presented by Dakota Community Bank and Trust. We appreciate you hanging in there with us here on your Sunday evening. Thank you. We've come to the portion of the program that we call the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame Hall of Honorees Inductee of the Week. And this feature is brought to you each week by our friends at Torgerson Auto Center on East Bismarck Expressway in Bismarck. Are you in the market for a good half-ton pickup? Well, you might want to check out this 2020 Ford F-150. It is loaded up nicely with all the bells and whistles, and it is priced right. Check it out at TorgersonAutoCenter.com. Find it on Facebook on the Torgerson Auto Center Facebook page, or better yet, swing into the lot on East Bismarck Expressway, Torgerson Auto Center. Our North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame Hall of Honoree inductee of the week this week is Harvey Billadeau. He was inducted in 2020 in the category of Modern Era Rodeo. Harvey attended school in Parshall, North Dakota, where he was a standout athlete in football, track, and rodeo. He participated in calf roping, team roping, and steer wrestling events at the high school, amateur, and professional levels. He won the NDRA Rookie Cowboy Award in 1970 and went on to win multiple state titles in all three timed events and the all-around from the 1970s to the 1990s in the NDRA and RRA, and he is one of only two Cowboys to win NDRA titles in all three timed events. Harvey bought his PRCA card in 1976 and was the Badlands Circuit runner-up in calf roping and finished 7th in the steer wrestling that year. He went on to enter many of the biggest rodeos across the country and Canada, placing in many rounds and averages. He won the Home on the Range calf roping match 2 times with Sonny Air and Tom Needham. And with more on Harvey's life and career, here is his friend, Representative Kenton Onstead, as he introduced Harvey at the 2020 North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame induction ceremony.
Thank you, and it's a real honor to be able to introduce for this category a classmate and friend, Harvey Billadeau. Harvey told me once he only had 2 friends, and I was one of them, so I thought I better show up. Now, if his other friend is out here, will he please stand and be recognized? You know, to be an inductee is not an easy task. It's a real commitment. It isn't the result of one outstanding year, but many years. Everybody will agree it takes a good horse. It takes a very competitive cowboy and a supportive family. With that being said, 45 years ago to almost a day, Harvey and Cynthia were married. So I'd like to congratulate them on 45 years. His accomplishments and love for the sport is never ending. His son and daughter, Jessica and Preston, have been champions themselves. And now he's just looking forward to all those grandchildren he has to do the same. So I take this time to recognize my friend, Harvey Billadeau.
Thank you, Kenton, for the gracious introduction. I'd like to congratulate all of this year's nominees and inductees. I'd like to thank Ed Sunby for nominating me, the board of directors, the trustees, and all the support I've received from the people who gave testimonials or sent letters on my behalf. It's a great honor for me to be inducted into the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame. 45 years ago today, I was in Medora, North Dakota, hazing steers for my brother Wade at the high school finals rodeo. I remember it well. I got married the night before. On a Thursday. That's the only way we thought we could make it work. My wife, and I bet her parents, thought they were really getting into something here. But the honeymoon in Medora and the high school finals is memorable. I guess I'm just a real romantic. I didn't grow up in a rodeo family. My parents farmed and ranched, but my dad, Leon, always had some good ranch horses around, and my brothers, Lynn and Wade, my sister, Cynthia. That's all we had to do. It was the only entertainment we had. We rode horses all day long. Never had a practice arena. We just rode, whether it be in the yard or in the pasture. I started my roping mostly in the pasture, going around to brandings and roping. Back in the late 60s, we were at Don Voigt's branding. And a neighbor of mine come up to me after we'd been roping calves. His name was Donald Needham. And he had a practice arena, and he said, "You need to come on over and rope with us." I guess that's kind of where it all started. I roped a lot of calves in that arena with both Don and Tom. Don was our coach. We learned as we went. Don Needham was very influential and supportive when I got started rodeoing. I didn't know anything about it. I was about 14 years old, and my dad helped me buy my first calf roping horse. He was a good gray horse that I bought from Bob Irwin at Minot. And we had an arrangement kind of that I was going to work it off, of course. The horse cost $500. That horse today would cost $15,000 or $20,000. He was a nice horse. And then we went had to get some bulls, and we were at Watford City, and they had a truck stop on the side of Watford, and I can't remember exactly why we stopped there. I suppose to get something to eat or gas, and they had this motorcycle sitting in there. It was a used 350 Honda. I can still see it, maroon and white with a lot of chrome. And man, I really wanted this motorcycle. So I thought, I could probably make an arrangement with Dad here and try to work this off too. But he said we could probably do that, but he said, you're going to have to make a choice. You're either going to buy the horse or the motorcycle. He wasn't going to finance them both. I guess he didn't think I could probably work that hard. Of course, I think he knew I was probably going to choose the horse. But it's amazing to me how one small decision you make in your life can change your life forever. I competed in all 3 timed events, enjoyed them all. I worked hard at them all. I think the calf roping was my favorite event, probably my best event. Throughout my career, I've had the opportunity to be around a lot of great horsemen and a lot of great ropers. Sonny Air helped me a lot in both the steer wrestling and the calf roping. Elmett Brewer helped me in the steer wrestling, and in fact, that's where I bought my first steer wrestling horse. Dale Carlson was very instrumental and very supportive of me when I got started, as well as Leroy Collins in the team roping. These are the people that helped me get off the ground. In the early 70s, I spent a winter with a NFR calf roper by the name of Bobby Seals, and he was a horse trainer, Fort Worth, Texas. You know, it doesn't sound like a big feat to saddle 6 or 7 of those young horses and rope calves all day, but believe me, that's a lot of work, and I learned a lot from those people. In the mid-70s, I spent a lot of time with NFR calf roper Junior Lewis. It was incredible what he taught me about flanking and tying calves, how to get horses working and keep them working. During my 50 years of being involved in the sport of rodeo, I've been fortunate enough to experience some success, ride good horses, make lifelong friends, see the country from Florida to California to Canada, have many fond memories. I'd say my greatest experience I've had is helping and watching my daughter Jessica and my son Preston become champions behind me. We spent a lot of time in the practice arena and going to rodeos together. I couldn't have asked for a better opportunity to raise my family. But with that, I couldn't have done it all, any of it, without the support of my wife, Cynthia. She's been behind us every step of the way. From getting married on Thursday to our first home, a camper on the back of a pickup truck. I have an awesome family. I have awesome friends. And I thank God for the opportunity He's given me in the sport that I love so much. I'm honored to be joining many of North Dakota's greatest cowboys in the North Dakota Hall of Fame. Thank you. And in closing, the quote of Willie Nelson, "My heroes have always been cowboys." Thank you.
Harvey Billadeau, this week's North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame Hall of Honoree, Inductee of the Week, brought to you by Torgerson Auto Center. You can learn more about Harvey and all the other inductees in the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame on our website, northdakotacowboy.org. And be sure to make plans to attend the 2023 induction ceremonies coming up in just a couple of weeks. They'll be held June 16th and 17th in conjunction with the Miss Rodeo North Dakota pageant. And Friday evening's dinner requires a ticket. And you can take care of that on our website as well, northdakotacowboy.org. We're greatly looking forward to this year's class into the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame Hall of Honorees Inductee of the Week. We've got one segment to go, and when we come back, we are going to introduce you to a sophomore from Kenmare High School who is our Student Rodeo Athlete of the Week. And who could that be? Well, stick around and you're going to find out right here on Dakota Cowboy, presented by Dakota Community Bank and Trust.
Okay, we're looking for ideas for our next commercial. Thoughts?
We have a fully stocked lot. Cars, trucks, SUVs.
Clearly.
We strive for honesty, transparency, and a better buying experience.
Of course we do. Guys, think, everybody's busy. Nobody has time to spend hours shopping for a car. Has to be simple, easy.
Sales, service, simplified.
Perfect. Torgerson Auto Center, East Bismarck Expressway. Sales, service, simplified.
You're still looking good.
I'm still feeling good. You know, I've got all your MyPillow products. Mattress topper, bed sheets, MyPillows, towels, slippers, blankets, sleepwear, dog
Whoa, whoa, Charles. Everyone now can get MyPillow products at huge discounts at MyPillow.com. That's right. Now's the time to go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to take advantage of our 3-in-1 sale. We're bringing you exciting new products, overstock specials, and closeout deals you won't find anywhere else. For example, when you buy one of our brand new MyPillow 2.0s, you get another one absolutely free. And with our overstock sale, you save 50% on our luxurious Giza Dream bed sheets. That's as low as $29.99 for the best sheets ever. And with our biggest closeout special, you get our all-season slippers for only $35. Or our sandals and slides for just $25. Quantities are limited, and once they're gone, they're gone.
Hey y'all, it's Trent on the loose. I'm a 6th generation farmer, husband, patriot, father. And as much as I'd love to just sit here under this shade tree and celebrate my own place on my front porch, truth of the matter is that people don't know who, where, and how is producing their food. So travel the country with Trent on the loose, and we'll find those interesting human interest stories behind the people that bring us the efficient food supply. Trent on the loose.
Medora Butte and Western Wear open year-round in historic Medora. You'll find quality items for cowboys and cowgirls of all ages. Medora Butte and Western Wear has over 1,500 pair of boots on hand at all times. New this year, the R. Watson brand of boot, featuring an all-leather heel, riveted shank, and a 10-iron leather sole. Jeans, shirts, hats, caps, and more, and customer service is #1. Medora Butte and Western Wear in historic Medora.
Medora Butte and Western Wear.
Nick Bolton here with the latest from Bell & Howell. We call them tack glasses. Inspired by the sunglasses worn by our heroes in uniform, tack glasses block blinding glare so well, invisible objects suddenly become visible. Enhance colors to give you vision as sharp as an eagle's and survive even the harshest conditions. Look, ordinary sunglasses just make things darker, which could be deadly in a tactical situation. Tack glasses improve optical clarity so you can see clearly, even in low light. If you've never seen how this light filtering technology works, check this out. Nothing to see, right? But look again as we hold up our tack glasses. A colorful American eagle is revealed. Amazing!
Act now to get your tack glasses for just $19.99, and we'll even ship it to you free. So don't delay. Order yours today.
To order, call 1-800-288-9503. That's 1-800-288-9503, or order online at trytackglasses.com. 1-800-288-9503.
This is Dakota Cowboy on Beck TV, presented by Dakota Community Bank and Trust. Time for our Student Rodeo Athlete of the Week, and this week it's Sophie Huff, the daughter of Blaine and Dorinda Huff. Sophie just finished her sophomore year at Kenmare High, and she finished with a 3.9 grade point average. Her future plans are to continue her education in equine reproduction. Her love for horses and rodeo are truly heartfelt. She competes in barrels, poles, and breakaway roping in North Dakota High School Rodeo. She is also a member of the North Dakota Rough Rider Association, NDRA, MHA, and a local rodeo club, the Western Wranglers. Sophie says, "I'm really excited for this summer and honored to be able to compete in several rodeo associations. This is my first year competing in MHA. Recently, I competed in the Four Bears Rodeo at the Healing Horse Ranch. The association put on an amazing rodeo. My barrel run was a work in progress, but I threw a nice loop in breakaway roping to win second in the junior breakaway division. There are a lot of good rodeo athletes here in North Dakota. It is a tough group of kids competing." Sophie Huff, the Dakota Cowboy Student Rodeo Athlete of the Week. And if you'd like to nominate a young cowgirl or cowboy for the Student Rodeo Athlete of the Week, send an email to dakotacowboy@becknews.com and be sure to include a couple of photos and a video of them in action. Well, that's all the time we have this week for Dakota Cowboy here on Beck TV. We're hoping next week to bring you some glimpses of the all-new Dale Paulke Arena. If not on the next show, one very, very soon. Please keep Tisa Peak and her family in mind this week as they continue to mourn the loss of T.J. Kraft, Tisa's brother. I'm Wild Bill, and on behalf of Tisa and all of us at Beck TV, thanks for watching Dakota Cowboy, presented by Dakota Community Bank and Trust. We'll see you in the future, if not in the pasture. Adios.
We are rewriting Hollywood's script for our kids. I'm pop culture expert Tina Griffin, and as a former Hollywood actress, I'm giving you a behind-the-scenes look at how today's entertainment is eroding the foundational development of America's youth and how to safely navigate this pop culture chaos. Knowledge is power. Parents want solutions. It's time to get the power back in your hands and reclaim the right to decide who and what should influence your kids.
Weekdays at 2 p.m. Central Time on Beck TV.